Salam and hello everybody, my name is Perinaz Shams and I am here to talk to you today about Zoroastrianism and some of the teachings that can be pulled from it that still are applicable to life today. So Zoroastrianism, of course, as a very brief context, is a monotheistic religion that is truthfully less of a rigid religion full of ideals and more of a way of thinking about humanness and therefore guidance for living. Now, Zoroastrianism is pre-Christianity, it's pre-Islam, and it originated out of Iran. So Zoroastrianism is still alive today. However, we often think of the monotheistic religions as being primarily Christianity and some of our other major religions today. So, of course, the founder of Zoroastrianism was Zorastor, and there is a teaching directly from Zorastor, a concept that he spoke about, which was Asha. This word Asha, it directly translates to mean cosmic order. However, we can break this down a little bit into something that's more relatable for us today and useful for some of the topics that we care about, like resilience and happiness, fulfillment, and authenticity today. So Asha is really a concept that every single thing and therefore person on this earth has a purpose. In addition to this fundamental purpose of living that you also have a way about you that is completely unique. So Asha is the concept that we cannot pull away from a fundamental truth about a thing or a person. In other words, you cannot separate from who you truly are. It's impossible. So if we take this idea out of Zoroastrianism that we can never be separated from who we fundamentally, deeply, and truly are, it does two things. First, it shows us that we have sort of a seed self. Things that are innate and inherent to us that go far beyond how you look today, maybe the job title you hold today, and when you look at the external parameters of your life, the things you could categorize your existence by. There's something deeper going on within you, and it's always been there. Those deeper aspects are what define you really. The second thing that happens is we start to realize that all of the things we're seeking in those externally based forms of identity, for example, relationships, jobs, hobbies, all of those things that we're seeking can actually be found within us. So we have an opportunity where rather than seeking outside of us, we can seek within us. The seeking never stops. The desire to grow and to understand never stops. But it's a shift from an outwardly based existence to one that is inwardly based. Again, the reason we would consider doing this, moving inward to understand and remember our seed self, is because of this concept of Asha, that all of us have a purpose, a place in this universe, and therefore our work is really just finding it. So today, so much of the struggle that people find in life that we as humans are all subject to and probably know commonly is feeling unfulfilled, feeling like you don't quite matter, or feeling like you're unsure of what you're truly meant to be doing. We can create this struggle within ourselves because we go against the concept of Asha. In other words, we separate ourselves. We do the work of pulling ourselves away from that seed self. Every time you conform to an expectation, an ideal, or a standard that's impressed upon you, either from a family, a religion, a society as a whole, every time you conform to that, you are separating from your true self. As we separate and continue to create fractions of ourselves as we grow, we reach adulthood and we realize we've come far in numbers, days on earth, years that we've lived, but we feel very new to the idea of joy, of love in an unconditional manner. And this confuses us. It can sometimes make us feel like we're the problem, like there's something defective going on within us. But I'm here to tell you, it's not that. It's not that you are a problem. It's that our minds and that deeper self, they've become confused. We have separated out from that soul or seed self or true self, whatever you'd like to call it. So there we have the opportunity to do something. It's an invitation when we realize this separateness of self to do something. What can it be? What do you do? I'm going to offer 3 steps that you can begin to engage with that might help you come back to that deeper self, your seed self. The first is that it's so important to practice awareness. Practicing self-awareness can be done in different ways. What I always recommend is deep breathing, where you're sitting quietly in a space that's free of distractions for at least 1 minute, maybe longer. Just noticing your breath, hearing and feeling the breath within you brings you back to the most fundamental part, the building blocks of your life. In that awareness, you'll start to understand who you are. You'll start to see yourself with clarity. The second step that you can take is to ask yourself, either in a reflective manner, if you like to journal, or perhaps in a meditation practice you already have, the question, who am I? Now, at first, the outermost aspects of yourself may show up. Your name, your gender, your job, some of your responsibilities, maybe being a wife or a brother. But who am I? That question is asking you to look at the deeper layers. Once you get through those outermost categories, what starts to show up when you continually ask the question, who am I? Sit with that question daily for at least a week and see what comes up. The third question that you can ask yourself, and this is the third step you can take, is to ask the question, where do I come from? Now, this can be a reflective question, but it can also be a practical question that leads you into finding where you come from. What are the roots of your family? What's the story of your lineage? Maybe you do research. Maybe you explore the stories of people who are your elders and are still living to tell you about where you come from. In understanding the stories of the people in your past, you will come to see and understand on a conscious level why you are the way you are today, why some of those values were instilled within you, why the things that were so important to your parent or parents or caregivers growing up were impressed upon you. And when you become aware of those things, of those patterns and the passed down knowledge, you can then make a conscious decision for yourself if it works for you, if that's what you want in your life. So with these 3 steps, you'll start to be living a conscious life that is geared towards you, doing that inner journey for the purpose of understanding your existence as one that is sacred, one that has an inherent purpose, and you are the seeker here to uncover it. If you like this video, please make sure to comment. If you have any questions about these topics or something you'd like to hear next, make sure you are letting me know. Hit the like and subscribe button too. Thank you so much. Salam.